What's up guys, Terrell here, and today I'm gonna talk about my priest guide, my main, and today the Shadow Priest. So that's the spec I'm gonna play in Water Draenor when the PvP season launches. And I want to give you a pre-season guide, kind of, I think. And I will update this guide for sure when the season launches and I played some games. So today I will go and talk about the talents, my macros, the glyphs I use, and my keybinds, and why I use those keybinds. So yeah, to start off, let's go to the talents. Oh, those are the glyphs. Talents, yeah. These are the priest talents. So that changed a lot since Mr. Pandaria. Like this tier was level 60 before, but it's the same tier. Just use Spectro guys, it's the best to get fears off, get away quickly or something. So always choose Spectro guys. I don't know why you should choose Desperate Healer of Angelic Bulk War. They are not worth it. Spectro guys is much better. So to move on to level 30, you still have Angelic Feather. It has been debuffed, kind of. I don't know. Yeah. You got 80% increased movement speed back in Mist Pandaria, and you get 60% now. But that doesn't really matter because it's just still worth it above Phantasm and Bloody and Soul. Well, Bloody and Soul can be okay-ish, I think, but Angelic Feather is just much better. To move on to level 45 talent, I think Surge of Darkness is still the best because of your Devouring Plague. Gets 10% chance to let your next Mind Spike be instant and doesn't consume your dot damage, so your dot damage won't go away. And I think that's pretty okay. So you get a little boost. I mean, if a melee is training you, it's very nice to get those procs. So I would definitely stay to that. Mindbender and Insanity. Yeah, Insanity can be okay if you're dueling or something, but in threes I don't think it's viable. And Mindbender, no. Just go for Surge of Darkness. So level 60, there's a very big change here, I think. Oh wait, that's still wrong. No. There's a very big change here. So Psychic Screen, which was a basic ability before, is now a talent. And you have the choice now between Void Tendrils, Dominant Mind and Psychic Scream. So you had Shadow Fiend, Cypher Fiend here before, and that has been replaced with Psychic Scream. So I think Psychic Scream is the best for CC in battles. Dominant Mind can be okay, but I think it's better as healer. You won't benefit as much as a Shadow Priest. And Void Tendrils is a good talent if you're playing against some heavy melee cleaves like Warrior DK. Then you probably need Void Tendrils for the peels you're gonna get off. But I would go with Psychic Scream. I think it's best. So move on to level 75. That doesn't change a lot. You still choose Shadowy Insight for the instant Mind Blasts, which are something less good, I think, now with the new level 100 talent, but still it is worth it, I think. But with my updated guide, I'm sure it's worth it or not, so you guys know then. For level 90 it's just still Halo or Divine Star, just what you prefer. I did Halo because of I was doing BGs, but in arenas I think Divine Star is better. So let's go with Divine Star. And then level 100. So at level 100 you have Clarity of Power. Your Mind Spike, Mind Seer and Shadow Burst Death deal 40% additional damage to the targets, not affecting your Shadow Pain or Vampiric Touch. Also reduces the cooldown of Mind Blast by 3 seconds and makes it instant cast. So first of all, your damaging abilities, this, and this one. Devouring Plague. No Devouring Plague. So this, and this one does more damage, 40% more damage when you don't have dots on. So it did some damage now, and when you have your dots on it, it does less damage. Wait a second. Yeah, it does less damage. 40% less damage. So that's a nice thing because you can always have the dots on, but that's not the reason you choose that talent. The reason you choose the talent is because of the instant Mind Blast and the short cooldown on Mind Blast. The normal Mind Blast cooldown is about 8 seconds and it's now 5 seconds, so you get more orbs faster, and your Mind Blast has a lower cooldown, so you can generate even more orbs. Because yeah, it especially is good against melee comps. Against casters you could go with Auspicious Spirits, but I still think Collective Power is the best. So to move on to Void Entropy, consumes 3 Shadow Orbs to deal 31,724 shadow damage over 1 minute. Devouring Plague will refresh this effect. I don't like that talent at all, it's just weak. And then you have Auspicious Spirits. Your shadowy variations grant you 1 shadowing orb instead of dealing damage. So you know those guys who come from you, just spring. You see that? That one? They don't do damage anymore. Then they just give you orbs, which is okay against maybe against casters, but I would go with Clarity of Power. So to move on, let's go to the glyphs. I'm using the glyph of Mind Blast, and this is very good, just because of the 4-second stun. When you critical hit, it's especially good against annoying melee, but I think it's just the best. Then you have Glyph of Fate, which is a must. It reduces all damage taken by 10%, which is just a must. And I'm using Glyph of Dispersion right now, but that's just because I was doing BGs. I would replace that, especially against mages, with Glyph of Mass Dispel. I don't have that much glyphs at all, but I think these two and then Dispersion or Mass Dispel are going to be the best glyphs in WoW General. But I will update you guys about that in the updated version, of course. And I don't have those on right now. I don't know why. I will do that later on. I don't have minor glyphs yet. This wasn't my main before, so I don't have bought that much at all yet. Okay, that was that. So let's move on to my macros. I don't have that much macros, but I have some which are, I think, pretty okay. So avoid, that's just to avoid some damage. You use Fate and Spectre guys at the same time. I'm having it on Shift C, as you see. Hey, why didn't it? Oh yeah, it worked. It's nice to reduce damage and get away from other guys, so it's just a good defensive. Focus Dispel. Why that doesn't belong there. It's just simple. It just is same as Dispel Magic, only it's on your focus. Because if your focus is using some kind of buff, I mean, this is your focus. Oh, why did my focus target reset? Well, let's say this is your focus and you're targeting him, but you see your focus target is using some kind of buff you want to dispel. You're just pressing that and you're dispelling him. You see? Yeah. So move on. Focus Fiend, just a normal focus target. Shadow Fiend macro. Focus Horror, if you need to quickly focus him. I didn't have keybinded it yet, but like this. So he's horrified now. It's good for peels or to quickly horrify a healer or something to continue one CC chain. And then you have Fiend, that's just my Shadow Fiend macro. It's using my use Trinket because it's obvious. Use Trinket. You want to use your use Trinket when you're bursting. Then you focus Silence, just silence on your focus, like this. For healers when they're casting, or mages when they're casting polymorph or something, you have to silence them really fast. Then you have my Kill macro. I'm not even using this at the moment because the Devouring Plague isn't that strong anymore. I'm just popping it when it's necessary and with my Shadow Fiend. But yeah, it's just Devouring Plague with my Trinket. So it pops my Trinket plus Devouring Plague if I'm using this, but I didn't have any orbs at the moment, so I couldn't use Devouring Plague. And they have Leap of Faith 1 and 2. This for target is party 1 and target is party 2. You know, to you won't have to target them and you can just get them to you. Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. And the same for my powered shield, but I'm not using it on my Shadow Priest at the moment. That's more for Holy Priest or Display Priest. So those are for healers. I'm not using them on Shadow Priest. So let's quickly talk about my keybinds right now. So I'm just my basic attacks I'm having on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those are just my basic damaging attacks. I think it's one thing to mention. I have a Raise Nega. Not everybody has that. So if you don't have a Raise Nega, I won't suggest going from 1 to 6 because 6 is maybe something too far away. But that's just what I think. For my levitate, I'm using 7, but that's just because my levitate. I'm not even using levitate. I do have it on shift 0, so I don't know why it's on 7. But okay. Then focus fiend, I have on shift D. I don't know. It's just the keybind I'm always using. Then for my fear ward, I'm using control 2. Just my fear ward. It's a long cooldown, so it doesn't really matter on which keybind it is, and I'm using control 2. Garrison ability control 3, so that's not important. Shift 1, my Shadow Fiend, and Shift 2, my Shadow Death. Shift 3 is my dispersion. I'm generally using Shift 3 for defensives, and sometimes all 3 if I have more than one defensive. Then you have Master Spell, Shift 4. Just easy with your if you have a Nega, it's really easy to get. So I'm using my Nega a lot, as you see. On Shift 5 I'm using my Vampiric Embrace, you know, the healing, cooldown. Just on Shift 5. Shift 6 is Mind Seer. I'm always having my AoE on Shift 6, always. So one thing I want to recommend is using for same kinds of abilities like interrupts, AoE abilities, main abilities, try to use as much of the same keys. For example, I'm using Shadow powered shield on this one on D, and with my warrior I have a shield barrier. I think I'm using D2, so you know it's easier to remember. Then moving on, old Nega button 1 is Prayer of Mending. You know, just for the I'm not using that much anymore because it isn't in cast anymore, so I don't think it's that strong anymore. For old Nega button 2 and 3 I'm using my Dispel Magic and Focus Dispel. Old Nega button 4 is my Shackle Undead. I should make a macro for that, I think, but that's not that important anymore. For old Nega button 6 I'm using my Use Trinket. So let's move on to the upper row. For 8, alt button 8, I'm using my Interrupt. That's always the same. So for Pummel, for a warrior, I'm using 8 too. 8 and alt 8 for my Focus Silence. For A, I'm using Spectral Guise. I always have kind of on A I have always abilities to avoid certain incoming damage. For Night Elves I have Shadow Melt on A, so yeah. On S I'm using Divine Star. Not very special. D is my powered shield, as I told you guys before. R is my angelic feather. I'm always using R for like Ghost Wolf, Shaman, and R for angelic feather for priest. So another example how you can, you know, keybind certain things to the same bind for different classes. On T I'm using my Leap of Faith, and then Shift T and Alt T for my Focus Leap Party 1 and 2 Leap of Faith. For F I'm using my Psychic Scream, and when I'm specking what's it called? Sorry, Void Tendrils, it's F2. So yeah, G and Alt G. It's not there yet. Let me keybind it real quick. G and Alt G. I'm using my Psychic Horror. Z I'm using Fade, you know, for 10% less incoming damage. X is my flash heal. C is shield tonic shield. It's just for BGs, I don't know. I got it somewhere. I can't remember anymore. Shift C is my fate macro, you know. The avoid macro, I'm using fate and spectre guys at the same time. Then Shift F is every man for himself, my trinket. On all the race and human, Shift F is just my, you know, trinket. Root trinket. And for my spectral shadow form, I mean, I'm using Control 8. Control nega button 8. So yeah. So those are my keybinds. I don't know if you like them, you don't have to copy them. I'm just using it because I like them. I'm using it for ages, so if you want, if you're using different keybinds, tell me. Maybe I can help you or something. If you need help with keybinds, you can always ask me in game. We can have a chat about keybinds. So yeah, or anything else for World of Warcraft, especially for priests. So yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys think it's interesting and helpful. So see you in my next video. Peace.